This dictation will be started within 5 seconds. The day before yesterday, when the Minister of State for Home Affairs was about to lay on the table of the House a copy of the Thakkar Commission report, my colleague stood up to ask whether the appendices, etc., were also being laid on the table of the House. All that this question suggested was that there were apprehensions in his mind that the entire report was not being laid on the table of the House. But when the minister replied, the interim report, the final report, the appendices, everything was being laid on the table of the House. Naturally, there were cheers and thumping in the House as if the apprehensions expressed by my colleague had been proved unfounded, and the government was determined to come out with the full report before the House. That was the clear impression this House got, and I also the same. It was only late in the evening when I went to the library to go through the report that I discovered that particular paragraph to say that Justice Thakkar himself has described the report comprising of 4 volumes. It is not a question of what Attorney General says. It is not a legal matter at all. It is a substantial report about which the author of the report himself says, my report is in 4 volumes. I am not going into the details of it. Yesterday, when I raised this matter, I wanted to draw the attention of the government to the fact that this House has been taken for granted, that the House has been taken for a ride. An impression has been given to this House that we have placed full report, and it is only after study that we came to the conclusion that the full report has not been kept. Certain parts or it have been withheld from the House. Now, Madam, you were kind enough yesterday to assure the House that this concern expressed here in this House would be conveyed to the government. This happened yesterday morning, 24 hours back. Even after 24 hours, Madam, this is to be taken note of. The government has not had the courtesy to tell us how that the report laid day before yesterday was not the full report. To tell this House that the report laid day before yesterday was not the full report, whether we agree or not. It is a different matter altogether. But it seems that through Parliament is comprised of two houses, the government felt its duty done when it told the other house that certain parts of it are sensitive and therefore we cannot give them to Parliament, and it thought its duty was over. I hold that this is a contempt of the Rajya Sabha. You cannot take this house for granted. This feeling is also shared by members from the other side. I am not raising any partition issue. I only say that you cannot take this house for granted. Madam, here is a situation in which a member of the ruling party stood up to raise the issue, and I was happy that he raised it. But I could understand the constraints under which he was speaking. I could appreciate those constraints. Even then, it made him make a remark which I think is the crux of the situation. It is that the manner in which the government has been handling this entire issue of the Thakkar report. Senior ministers first defended vigorously that under no circumstances would the report be placed on the table of the House because it would endanger the security of the country, that it would be against the public interest. I must say, the entire ruling party defended the government stand with all the vigor as its command. Now, the whole parliament is being reduced to a laughing stock. Day after day, you are committing one blunder after another. What do you want? Do you want these two volumes to be published in a special supplement of the Indian Express for members of parliament to read? This is the question, madam, to which not only you, as the custodian of the house, must address yourself, but all the members of this house, irrespective of the party to which they belong, must address themselves. We must take the government to task for the manner in which, firstly, it amended the whole Act. The Act had given Parliament the right to every single word of every single report. Now suddenly the Act is amended. Madam, I went through the proceedings of this House. In 1986, my colleagues drew the attention of the government to a lacuna in the original Commissions of Inquiry Act, wherein such reports were to be placed on the table of the Lok Sabha only. The dictation will come before you off and on for best performance to appear in the skill test.